What's going on, guys? Just gonna show off my overclocking that I did so far. Right now it's nighttime. Of course, I'm in Canada. I'm in Northern Ontario in Canada, and tonight I'll tell you what the temperature is outside. Of course, I'll consult my phone. It's not particularly cold, but we're minus 2 degrees Celsius outside right now. And for my particular area, that's not even particularly cold. So I may get a chance to increase my overclocking yet. But I just switched my screen share here. So guys, here's what I got, okay? I played with some overclocking, alright? So right now my mining room is currently, I was just up there a couple of minutes ago, and it was at 10 degrees Celsius. And that's the air temperature in my mining room right now, because I have cold air in, hot air out, and it's minus 2 degrees Celsius outside. So because I'm in Canada, I'm in prime condition to be cooling my air inside my mining room, especially since we are just at the end of January and it's cold outside. So the base frequency for this miner is 600 megahertz, and I have my processors running at 700 megahertz. And I don't know if you guys see my other video, but I did have some heat problems, and I did cause some damage on my boards. So that's why I have this chain number 3 is reading only 57 A6 and not 60. And this will read anywhere between 56 and 59 A6 every time that I restart my miner. It's temperamental, wholeheartedly. It's completely temperamental. I overheated the shit out of my miner. It got up to, I had chain number 3 hit 96 degrees before I was able to get upstairs and shut the power off to my mining room. So I increased the cooling to the entire room, decreased the entire temperature of the room, and this is basically what I'm left with. Let me do a restart, or a refresh, sorry. And even at a base clock is 700. That's what it's shipped to you out of the box. When you plug into Antminer A3, it runs at 600 megahertz. And I have them all running at 700 megahertz right now. And I'm clocking in anywhere between on my hottest board, board number 3, is running between 79 to 83 degrees Celsius, okay? Now, what I figured what is going on is that you have board 1, which has its chips facing this way to the center, and then board 2, which probably has its chips facing this way, and then board 3 has its chips facing this way, but it's against the case of the outer case of the board. So the airflow is not getting across it. That's what I think is going on right now. So I have an idea right now. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my Antminer, okay? I'm going to open it. I'm going to take board number 3 out. I'm going to reverse the direction and put board number 3 back in, and I'll just Dremel a new hole in so that the ports can all stick up, or whatever I need to do. Okay, but I think I'm going to reverse the direction of board number 3, because if you look here in my settings, you got chain 1, 2, 3. Those are your board numbers. I got 73, 63, and 79. Okay, board number 3 has been consistently way hotter than all the other boards, okay? So I'm going to take board number 3 and reverse the direction and put it back in the machine, and then see how it cools. That way there, the air should be flowing on the right side of the board and cool a lot better. Now, I don't know, I've never done this before. I don't know if any of you guys have experience with any of the other miners that Bitmain provides, but and I have not opened my miner yet. I have not seen the inside. I do not know what's going on. I'm only trying to use deductive reasoning to figure out why board number 3 is always hotter than the other boards. Okay, obviously board number 2 is the center, so it's getting air on both sides. Board number 1 is getting air on one side, and it's got to be the side with the heat sinks, because it's cooler than board number 3, which is plugged in the same direction, and all the heat sinks are on the opposite side where it's not getting proper airflow. And that's why I fried it, and that's why I'm losing 3 A6 on board number 3. So it took me less than 24 hours to overheat my device. I had 96 degrees recorded on this temperature on this Hashboard, And yeah, so I have some damage caused. I'm not reading all my ASICs. Fortunately, I don't have any X's or dashes in my ASIC status panel. So it did take me approximately an hour and a half. After I overheated my device, it took me approximately an hour and a half in order to get it to actually boot up again. And I had to use the reset. When you put a pin in the reset button on the front of your miner, you have your IP report, and you have your Ethernet port. You have your 2 LED lights, and then beside that you have your reset button. And I put a pin in the reset button in order to reset it. And I had to do that twice, and then do a soft reboot in order to get the miner to even turn on again. Okay, so definitely I scared the shit out of myself with this device, because if this went up to 96 degrees and I was not home, I know wholeheartedly this device would have just ran until it lit itself on fire and burnt my freaking house right to the ground, okay? So what I did recently, I bought some software. I bought Awesome Miner, and I paid for the premium whatever subscription for it, so that it has, my API access is down, but I do have API access. If I go to Antminer, I configure API, no, get out, that's not what I want. Antminer, configure API access. Oh shit, it's gonna restart my miner. I don't even want to do it. I got everything running so smoothly right now. It's running 80 degrees on the chip. I can deal with, fine, whatever. But generally what I have here is I have proper access for API access, and when the temperature exceeds a certain value, it will shut off my miner for me. Now right now I have some cold temperatures overnight. I'm not really worried about it, but before I go to sleep, trust me, I will be turning on my management so that if it overheats, it will turn itself off. So guys, that's very, very important to me to manage my heat. Seriously, one of the biggest challenges I've had so far is heat with this device. Now, you guys, I'm clocking at 700 megahertz right now. Factory is 600 megahertz. I've seen quite a few people on YouTube so far that are clocking at 650 megahertz. I've seen one guy so far clocking at 675 megahertz. And I am clocking at 700 megahertz and clocking in between 79 to 81 degrees on my chip temperature on Hashboard number 3. So, like I was saying, what I'm thinking is I'm going to take Hashboard number 3, I'm going to take it out, I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to Dremel some new holes in the top so the connections can fit, and power this thing back up. I think that's going to be the way that I'll get around this heat problem, at least for the winter when I have all this cool air to use, because I'm in Canada and it's cold as shit here, and the air outside is free. This country gives me the air for free. All I gotta do is pump it inside my mining room and it cools the air. So what I have upstairs right now is a crosswind going on because I have a loft upstairs in my house. So in my mining room, I have a wide open window with a ceiling fan blowing air in, right? And then it goes across my loft, and on the other end I have an open window so that the positive pressure can just blow the hot air out the other end. So I have a system. My air is working good. My room temperature when I was up there literally 5 minutes ago was 10 degrees Celsius. So that's my room temperature. So with 10 degrees Celsius room temperature, I was able to achieve an 80 degrees Celsius miner temperature on the chip temperature when I'm overclocked to 700 megahertz. And that's basically my experience so far, guys. I'll update you when I have more information, of course. And until then, stay profitable, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next video.